All right. Hello, everybody. I will be your professor for the next 25 or so minutes here as I run you through this good old classic intro to HTML lecture. All right. Today, as our first example, as you might have heard in most languages, it starts off with a sort of hello world thing. All right. It's just a way to get you introduced to the system, the syntax, how things work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's all right. You will soon enough. Because today we're going to be creating a functional stopwatch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Of course, our goal is to create a timer that displays the hours, the minutes, the seconds, and the milliseconds, all right? Because when in learning a new tool, what better way to start than with the thing that destroyed our society? Time, right? I mean, may as well. What else are you going to do? Start by trying to make a vending machine? I don't think so. All right. So as we get sorted, all we have to do, all right, all we have to do to get started is to open up a basic TXT file. If you're on Windows, you can do this simply by hitting your Windows key and searching up Notepad. If you're on Linux, literally sitting here fiddling with OBS trying to figure out how to get a damn stopwatch to appear on the screen. All right, it's a lot of videos and it's too late to be doing this shit, but I want to do a thing anyway. So I don't have the patience to sit down here, and do it, right? And it's just like, oh man, just do it. It's like, bro, and I'm kind of scared now because hold on, if I can find where it was. Uh, Here we go, found it. So you don't need to know the minutia, but I boiled it down to because I have a date little thing. I have a little thing here. I mean, I don't have it on the screen. I guess I could bring it up, but no, just take my word for it. I have a little screen thing that gives the current date. I did that like 2 years ago. I went through all the hullabaloo and figured out how to do it, and it's a local file on my computer that displays that. And I was like, all right, I don't remember what to do here, but I have enough knowledge. All right, I have an HTML file that gives the current date, and it's being displayed with the web display tool on OBS. All right, I'll make an HTML file of a stopwatch. I have little to no experience with with HTML. All right, and all that stuff. All right, I know the bare minimum, and by that I mean I know that the code goes into a txt file, and all you do is you name it .html instead. For laughs, I went ahead and went over to ChatGTP and I asked it, look, make me an HTML file that contains a stopwatch with a smart reset button, with a start reset button, and it did it. Like, because it's like memeing, like, oh, ha ha, AI is gonna replace our jobs, all that, bro. It did it. And I know this isn't the most complicated thing ever. All right, I have coded. All right, getting the buttons to like sort of hover like this, like that, yeah, and like clickable buttons, like you have to get the mouse's position and all that stuff. That stuff, maybe a little bit, but it's like getting the timer is literally just In fact, I mean, I say that, but we can just, I say that like a noob, but we can just look at the code. Like, this is both amazing and terrifying, all right? I have a lot of people who really hate ChatGPT and AI, and I'm not a huge fan of it either. But in some ways, this is the genuine experience of having a tutor. You can ask it a question and it'll explain it. Like, I know all the things. It's like AI, it can be, it's like, oh, it can be wrong with passion, right? Or whatever, so can people. Like, what the, but like, let's look at this. All right, it literally works. All right, look at this. It's decided to It's decided a font display flex. I don't know what that means. Justify content center. I would assume that means it puts it in the center. Background color. Here's the hexadecimal. Looks like we've got a method here named stopwatch, I guess. We can continue on. I know some of this stuff. I know like this is how you end a point of code, like it's up here. Like I said, it's been a long time since I took any sort of knowledge of HTML because it was like, if you're gonna be anything, it's learn HTML. I still don't know how Unity runs inside of HTML. I don't know what that means. I know what happens, but I don't know what it means. And we're gonna speed this up though. I mean, you get the idea. It's here, and it's doing it. And there is literally one last thing I want to do. I can literally do it. All right, I could go in here and I could find where it decides what the colors are. In fact, right here, I do not know what the hexadecimal code is for black, but literally all I want to do is invert this. All right, and I could. I look. I have already given the axe to the tree chopper. You know, like I'm already the tree giving the axe to the tree chopper here by asking it to do this. But hey, man, see, like document dot like what you know what? Every coding language is different, right? Like I know like Python has a lot of stuff that's easy to do, right? Like it has a lot of like here's a simple line to do all this stuff. Meanwhile, in like C sharp, it's like no, you got to do it all yourself, right? How does this get time? Header, we got class stop. What makes a class stopwatch? Display, it displays this class time. It didn't define time somewhere else. So I guess time is a class that it can get. And button is a thing it can get. On click. Okay, there you go. On click. So again, that's all I had to do. So the coding syntax of HTML has a method that just lets you click it. Okay, anyway, I'm not seeing where it's putting in like an HTML. Does it have to declare? Is this object oriented? Body? I don't know. Okay, it literally. Okay, again, cardinal sin. Do not repeat this at home. Uh, can you change? Ooh, can you change the HTML so that the background is black and the text buttons, button. Well, no, I guess just the text. Space isn't. Absolutely. Here's your HTML, the black background and all that. All right. Let me see. Okay, so it is. I was like, it's probably 000, because again, HTML is just a byte of information, which is 8 numbers. So look at this. We're literally going to copy this. Then what? Then what do I do? Then we're going to open up right here the stopwatch HTML. We're going to Control A that and Control V. Make sure, yep, there it is. Clear as day, black as crystal. Clear as crystal, black as day. What? We did that, and now all we're gonna do is, can I just come over here and refresh it? It's gonna read from that. And it did it. Does it work? Yeah, again, I mean, okay, it's jittering. Okay, stop jittering. This might be too vague. All right, this might be the limits of both my knowledge and ChatGPT's ability. Can you edit it? Can you edit it so that the number, the So the ladder, how would, so the ladder numbers aren't affected by the size of the earlier, no, the, so that the minute, like, so that the, that's not how you spell minutes. Minutes. I just realized it's not minutes, it's the seconds. Let's see. It might be like, huh? Or it might be do some crazy shit. Bro, what next? Like, oh my god, it's happening in real time. This doesn't look too much. This doesn't look too different. All right. But once again, here we are. We're going to add it. Go back to it. Update. Is it? Oh. Ooh. Now it looks like a Saw movie. And look at that. They don't jitter. So wait, it said did it, it's this, interestingly, it's the same font. It just looks, the last thing. We will do one thing before we end this. The font is thicker. And that's the thing. I could probably ask this. You know what? In fact, I'm gonna do that actually. Hold on. Let me wait. Let me, instead of me like, I'm gonna, from learning from my character studies, not my character studies, from my how to write a story studies, whatever. Don't say, do, blah blah. Again, I've shown you me editing it every time. I don't need to show it every time. Look, it is in fact thicker. It still kind of looks like a prison sentence, but whatever. In fact, you know what? I want to test. I want to test how much it can sort of manipulate to my stuff, right? Can you edit the HTML so that the font is more like more goofy? Again, I have this, and I have one more thing. Comic Sans. All right. So basically, look, this is where I've gotten now. All right, it's added a gradient. I asked it to kind of change the colors a bit because it wasn't good enough. This really isn't what I wanted per se. Like it's still like, it's like the deep blues and stuff ain't really good, but that doesn't matter. It did this. I have I have created this without a lick of knowledge in HTML. All right, again, hands up. I have a little bit of knowledge in HTML, not enough to make a gosh darn thing. All right, I might have enough knowledge to have a blank web page with a color. All right, that's where I've gotten. Meanwhile, this is what makes or break it. I've just asked it to make a lecture based on this HTML file. What will it say? No. No. Alright, class is in session. Let's break down how we built this HTML stopwatch step by step. Introduction. Today, we're going to be creating a functional stopwatch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's messed up because I actually took a class in JavaScript. I didn't recognize any of that. Our goal is to create a digital timer. You know what? No, I'm not showing my cheat sheet. Today, our goal is to create. Wait, I need to make this look more accurate. All right. Today, we're going to create I already said that, to display the hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, complete with a start and reset button. We'll also be adding a visually appealing design to make it look stellar. Alright, class, step 1, basic HTML structure. We started with the foundation of our website, the HTML structure. This includes the doc type HTML declaration and the HTML header and body tags. Inside the head, we set up our metadata in style that the body contains our stopwatch display button. Yo, teachers are over party. I can't, no, guys. If I was doing this not at like 2 a.m. in the morning, I would literally do a gag. I would set it up because obviously I would have to like kind of put this stuff into I was gonna say a spreadsheet, but rather a PowerPoint and stuff like that. But I literally could sit here and act like I know my type shit. I could be like, all right, guys, welcome to how to do this beginner's class on HTML. And then at the end, I'd be like, oh, guess what? I don't know Jack. Should I do that? That would be a great that dude. That would be. Oh my god. If I had more passion for this. I just look, a greater man would actually learn from this. Like this is literally like I've been bashing my head because I how much I hate my brain and how like I just don't know how to learn. This is it. Like the genie. This is the genie in all. Well, it's the genie and the Terminator wrapped in one. It really is just like a gun. You know what I mean? Like they're fine on their own, but you can't have them because someone's gonna do terrible shit with them. Like that kind of that parable. You know what I mean? Like this is amazing, but it's also gonna replace everyone's jobs. You know what I mean? Yin and yang. Is this? I don't know if I would. I say that in a lesson thing. I don't think I would go from basic setup to let's add some style. Oh, I know you need these three things. Like you need the header, the body, style, keyframes, gradient. Step 3, JavaScript functionality. The core of our stopwatch is the JavaScript code. We define functions to start, stop, and reset the timer. The start stop function begins the timer and the get show time function updates the display. The reset function clears the time and resets the display. Yo, leave a comment if I should like learn from this. Like no. No, man, actually sit down and try to learn from a damn robot. Because I mean, I could. There's clearly enough material. Do you think? What if you think I asked it to like hack the government? Okay, conclusion. I think there's a bit more to this than 3 slides, or maybe not. How could? Well, clearly the robot is the master here. You define each one. Math.floor. I know that. Okay, that's in C. That's in C plus, C plus, C sharp. I don't know C plus. Wait, what? Okay, I say this, right? Bear in mind, I've said this and I lost my mind because I was like, the robot is doing this. Please remember, because I forgot, that 99%, or I don't know the exact percent, 90% of this is literally just copy paste stolen content from other websites. All right, that's my PSA. All right, the machine isn't smart, it's just copy pasting. They literally the same as me. All right, if you think that ChatGTP is smart because of what you saw here, then you would also have to be like, well, I right now just put an HTML file together to get the to get the damn stopwatch, right? That means I did that, right? I did that. Oh, you can't pause. I mean, do you need to? Anyway, just because I copy pasted the HTML file info into the file doesn't mean that I know how to do that. And the same thing with this, all right? It cited some of its sources here. I mean, they are all GitHub, but I'm sure because I'm sure if I really this is just sort of like expedited Googling, right? I'm sure if I went back 2 years ago, before all this stuff was exploding as much as it was, I could search like how to make a stopwatch in GitHub. I mean, in HTML, and someone probably made a tutorial on that. And then how to add a gradient to text, and how to add this and that. You know, this stuff certainly only goes so far. Like I'm sure I couldn't sit here and like ask it to create a game engine for me. I mean, I guess maybe you could. Again, there's probably tutorials for that, but like creating a game engine, you have to like interface with the binary code of every graphics processor, and it's like, what's happening, bro? Anyway, this was a lot of content for me running this train on Nutmeg. Let me know what you think of our robot overlords, and if I should like try and become their henchman. Kind of like Snively to Eggman or Robotnik. Yes, master. You're giving me the information. My monkey brain. Oh God, we're doomed. We're doomed.